I felt goosebumps. So I don't know. I hope you feel the passion, not just from the audio team, but from everyone that poured a lot of work into this. I hope music gives justice to the thousands of man-hours that were put in these displays.
It's just so much better than we ever hoped it would be when we started working on Crusader half a year ago.
Very, very different than what you'd see. You know, there's huge vistas to look at, these beautiful sunsets to look at, but also almost too perfect a world.
I guess the biggest reaction that we're trying to create is this insane sense of scale, and we really want to capture that sense of Orison just sprawling out into the distance.
I've seen our backers get excited about all kinds of tiny little details that you'd think, that doesn't really matter, but the first time I saw it for myself, it was beautiful.
I'll be honest, it'll only get better from here.
Things that give an environment character beyond just the architecture and the shape of it is things that are super important, like the dressing, the props that are placed around the foliage. A lot of it is about adding that human element in, because if you have no dressing, you've just got architecture, it feels very sterile and doesn't feel very real. So one way we try to add that character into a location is through what we call our graphic standards, which includes fonts and iconography and just style of lines and things. And those can be different between whole landing zones, but they could also be different within landing zones. Depending on it, it might be more industrial looking, it might be more habitational looking, or medical, for example. There's different ways you can do that.
One of the things that we talked about was tourism is a big part of your industry. You want to paint the pretty picture. You want to have the postcard shot. You consume through your eyes as you see what people are dressed like. What are the vendors wearing? What are they selling? What are they talking? The people that come up to you. What's the average person look like? Like that tells so much about an area. In this case, we kind of focused in on sort of this 1950s Americana, like the white picket fence, the perfect family unit, the Norman Rockwell sort of painting. Like, what is that sci-fi version of that? Even the guys wearing suits, it's like that traditional, well-dressed businessman of that era. And that kind of was our jumping off point. It's got a much different feel than a lot of the zones because of that.
Performance is one of the biggest challenges, especially for lighting. For lighting, we wanted to achieve a nice contrast between, kind of a friendly, welcoming mood for the commercial and tourism areas, and then at the same time, not an unwelcoming mood, but more of a functional, kind of high-tech workspace for the other industrial platforms. And then at the same time, we also want to add further contrast so that at daytime, it's very clean, it's very bright, and then at nighttime, you get a little bit more varied color palette. And because we want to have all of this light at nighttime, we have to take into account the level of detail that we expect, while also leaving enough room in the lighting budget for all of these lights, like one platform further away from you, 2 platforms, 3, and even further than that. So lighting is a big challenge.
Particularly one of my personal favourite bits with the butterflies and the fireflies that come out at night in the garden. They are absolutely stunning. It's one of those things you don't necessarily notice the little details consciously, but it just breathes so much life into an otherwise empty space. In the case of the platform thrusters, you've got to communicate why this platform is floating. You've got this massive platform, it's got to have some way of staying in the air. So the idea is that these thrusters are there to keep this platform in situ, otherwise you're just going to fall out of the sky and fall into the gas giant. So first for us, been a bit technically challenging, but I think it's going to be worth it.
The initial goal and reference point for generating clouds, like realistic looking clouds that are convincing for the player, or like for everybody, obviously, is always going to be Earth, but Art Direction wanted something less Earth-like and a bit more alien, if you will, and that was one of the bigger challenges.
I definitely know there's some visual artifacts that you can see sometimes in high contrast areas or in the distance and stuff, but I know that if it's not fixed by 3.14, that Carson and the team will definitely be able to work on those and improve those in the future.
I think it's great that the cloud tech is going out as it is, because it does look amazing. Everything that's gonna have clouds will use this technology. Just from what is there already, it's so promising that we have no doubt it's gonna be amazing once it's fully realized and deployed in the whole universe.
For the planet, we wanted to feel the more grandeur element of Crusader. It's a fantastic planet. I think the music is the first thing that makes you understand the culture and the tone of the place. The guidance I got from Darren when you land is that you wanted to feel as if you were looking at an eternal sunset or something like that. I mean, kind of like makes you go into the most human part of you. And for the industrial part, we wanted to make sure we felt the grandeur of the industrious mind of engineers that work there and construct all the beautiful ships that we have in the Star System. I certainly really way much more deeper than usual, even more deeper. I mean, I try to go deeper and deeper in everything I go, so hope you guys enjoy it.
Our next landing zone, Orison, and the gas giant Crusader that sits beneath it represent the next major milestone for our planet tech, content, environment, engine, graphics, VFX teams, and more. And like each planet and moon before it, will continue to iterate and improve as subsequent technologies come online and further development progresses. And while it's a major component of the upcoming Alpha 3.14, there's more where that came from. Now, before we let you go for the quarter, let's take a moment to recap everything coming our way in the patch report. As we just saw, the fabled Orison, city amongst the clouds and dream of star citizens everywhere, makes its long-awaited debut riding high on the gas giant Crusader in Alpha 3.14. Now, like Microtech and Lorville before it, it will continue to expand in subsequent patches with the addition of hospitals, the Crusader showroom, whale-watching tours, and more. Additionally, this first version of Crusader boasts another new feature for Alpha 3.14, our initial implementation of planetary volumetric clouds, which builds off previous work from our stellar gas clouds and begins the process of expanding that tech across the entire surface of a planet or a moon. Now, while still in active development and not yet final, the work continues beyond Alpha 3.14 with SDF occlusion to help alleviate graphical artifacting, the addition of local VFX work, and a refinement to overall process that will improve an already amazing quality seen here in subsequent patches. On the gameplay front, there are several advancements to ship and vehicle operation coming in Alpha 3.14 that aim to further improve the combat and flight experience, including Power Management V2, formerly referred to here as capacitors, designed to rebalance all the connected systems that make ships go. From thrusters to weapons to shields, adding another layer of critical decision-making to combat is just one more way to put the successful outcome of any battle more squarely in players' hands. There's also Missile Operator Mode and the rework to Missile Guidance and Control, which not only brings about a new way to interact with and control the variety of munitions available on ships and vehicles, but improves the way they handle themselves in the verse by bringing the same intelligent flight control system pilots use for spacecraft to their missiles and torpedoes. This has the effect of improving both performance and tracking ability while providing skilled pilots a way to use their talents in avoiding death and destruction. A revitalization of the way radar, scanning, and ping work throughout the Star Citizen universe is another essential addition to the upcoming Alpha 314, with detailed and consistent means of discovery, distraction, and potentially destruction. Now, this new unified system with its upcoming FPS counterpart will form the foundation of a new and improved level of investigation, cat and mouse chase, and more for the future, while changing the way players interact with content already in the game today. And of course, all of these new systems are displayed better than ever before with the new Canvas Slice Hud, a tech made possible by our continuing development of building blocks that aims to provide an improved layout that maximizes screen real estate while providing more opportunities for increased information and the groundwork for allowing manufacturer-specific visual designs like the Aegis one we've seen before and the Drake version currently being developed now. But when you're flying through the verse, there's been a ship waiting patiently for its time to shine. That last variant of our original 5 pledge ships finally makes its debut in the upcoming Alpha 314, the Constellation Taurus. Now, it may not look like much, kid, but it's got it where it counts, and that's the cargo hold. Just be careful where you take it, because Alpha 314 also brings with it the danger, the conflict, and the opportunities inherent in 2 dynamic events scheduled to occur during the next quarter. First, the return of the newly improved and remastered Xeno threat that will bring all players across all servers to bear in battling the tormented invaders from the Pyro system, as well as the smaller, more local threat of the Ninetales in a new PvP-focused event that will occur several times in different locations throughout the Stanton system. Of course, if you get caught up where you shouldn't be, there's also the new Surrender system that will allow criminals who can't get away to be arrested without losing either their life or their ship. If you're into that kind of thing. So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that with Orison and Crusader, we truly do belong amongst the clouds. That the volumetric cloud tech itself might not be exactly where we want it to be just yet, but like with all things in Star Citizen, it'll continue to be iterated on and improved in subsequent releases. And that, boy howdy, can that Pedro make a piece of music. Jeez. Now we're going to take our regularly scheduled quarterly break here, but our other broadcasts will continue on Fridays. And for all the latest information about the continuing progress of Alpha 314, including when you can jump in and help test things in the PTU, all that stuff will be available on the robertspaceindustries.com website. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all in about a month.